Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Albion TV. It's Tuesday night and I am filling in for Tazik here with Shozen. My name's Lewpac. I'm going to be checking out some high-end GVGs tonight. We've got level 4 and level 5 back-to-back in a 1-hour GVG show. Shozen, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. We've already got a Durenton on the field with a slightly different team than what we're used to seeing. I figure we'll go watch that, start, and then bounce around.
There's definitely been some musical teams lately, hasn't there? But
yeah,
I think some people are settling in, and we saw a bit of a comeback for the Cargera team at the weekend, didn't we? They started to look a bit stronger, making adjustments, and that crazy Great Axe from Boda, which we have our concerns about the energy management in the future, but
really effective.
Definitely looking strong right now. Some frosts, and I think we're on the verge of seeing something new and cool, hopefully, creeping into the meta. Nature still remaining dominant. Those great curses very strong. Some crossbows starting to reappear though, and yeah, not much fire though. I noticed lately. There's really not a lot of fire right now. All right, we've got about 1 minute till our first match. We're going on to Renton and his boys. Their new team. They are just about to zone in actually right now. And in we go to the Crystal Realm then. First match of the evening. Durenton repping Blue Army right now. And he's going to go against Fatnix and the Elevate team. Which will be quite the matchup. Zerfax on bow, Chicken on nature. One of my favorite healers to watch. Fatnix on the Great Hammer. Yabim is the tank for this team here then. Both rocking a Great Hammer. I imagine they'll both go for a 4-1 split at the top, Shozen.
We'll see. Very likely. That's usually what people are playing right now.
And oh wow, Space Chuju, he's going for the 4-1 split, and he is not showing his build till he gets there. He's also going to be on the bow. Was trying to manage the purges, but Elevate going to play 2 purges, 4-1 split from both teams as the glaive and the hammer go forward and start to give ATAC a little tickle, which turns into a big tickle as the shred comes down. Zerfax controlled out the fight. It's going to be a double DPS stun in the back if your Ben wants it. Doesn't choose to go for it because of the Merc Hood. Knows that it's an instant cleanse. He's going to get flicked back. And there's... oh, that's a nice 3-man into the back. Zerfax not going to get anything. Does get purged, but new quiver comes out straight away. Swap onto Fatnix. Aramis Irons. Wow. Purge onto him. Poison onto him. Lure. Second poison onto him. Area of Decay onto 3. And ATAC's in big trouble. Does get the Cleric off and the save comes out. Durenton healing. I'm pretty sure that's new to us as well, Shozen. Seed onto Aramis.
Well, no, that's
Irons.
what he originally was a healer for quite a while. He even taught Machu how to heal. But for what we have seen, he's generally been a tank when he was in his top
he's played a lot of different roles. I don't hold the name like synonymous with healing. Yarbem in a bit of trouble on the way out. Some hots are just not going to be enough, and the Elevate boy is going to take that early engage. 2-0 in kills, and they're going to grab a 2 into a 3 on a pretty nice timing. Re-geared and come back out. Hammer right at the back here. Great curse with the OC again. Running the Thetford to quite lay on the defensives. Yarbem rocking the Thetford and the poison potion. Space Chew. Judy Boots goes in. Tackle through 2. Cleanse comes out onto space. Now ATAC. He is going to start pushing forward. Tomney comes in. Impaler onto Zerfax. Zerfax rolls for the hills here. Flick goes onto ATAC. The first to die in the last fight. Doesn't want to be first out of this one. Aramis, he's going to get rocked, but the clerics are coming out left, right, and center. Durenton uses his. Aramis uses his. Tommy trying to stand his ground. Has to respect that Cortis Cow. Flick coming out from ATAC. Another cleric is going to be used. All out of defensive now, and it's just going to be a game of who can hold that line better, who can find that opening. ATAC with no defensive. Zerfax with no cleric, but Katomni, he's down to a quarter and has to pull out. And once again, it's ATAC that does get opened up on, and he's going to drop, forcing the retreat from the squad cool mix team. Yabem is not getting out again either. Heals not quite there, and it's another 2-0, and it's the same 2 as last time.
All right, that's not a good thing to have happen 2 times in a row. You don't want the same fault happening twice. That's usually a bad sign for you. Unfortunately, I'm going to try to start a new match to record on the other end. I just got disconnected from the internet and lost my stream. So just give me a moment.
Not ideal, to be fair. Yabem, they're coming up for the South choke again. 3-cap pressure being applied. Zerfax. Oh, good play onto Zerfax there. The Iron Breaker doing quite a lot of damage to follow up. The Purge comes out as well. No roll on it, but down goes a full Meditate from Zerfax. He is restacked and onto Yarbem. He does get his Judy down. Seed might have to sack. Does have to sack there. So that's all the big heals gone for now from Durenton. But Zerfax is under a lot of pressure as Katomni pops his resist. Looks to continue the push. The backline surging forward for blue right now. But Yabem, he is getting shredded once again. Iron Breaker, they're lining up nicely. But the tackle, he tries to get too greedy with the tackle. He tries to hit everything, and all he gets is air. Unbelievable mistake there from Yabem, and he is going to get flicked. Area of Decay. Guardian Helm buys him a few seconds, but a deadly shot from Zerfax will find the opening, and that is why you cannot miss those crucial stuns.
No, those stuns are some of the most important things you have in the game. You got to land those properly. That's what controls your match.
It was pure greed. He was trying to get everyone and just ended up getting no one. Like that, he could have just took the two. Spadger is going to go down on the way out. The rest of them should be okay now. Yabem's here. This could be a big choke punish, by the way. He could get a 4-man. Oh, not quite. The 4-man stun on the choke. And they're going to put Fatnex into the tent for a bit of beam action, but just a little tickle, and he's going to sneak out of there. Sneaky beaky like at the end. 149-0. And Durenton and his new team having a rough time of it right now, Shozen.
That's not what you want to see there, guys. It's you expect a little bit more from a Durenton-led team here. He's very good. Yabem is very good. Attack 12, Katomni. We know these guys. Space Chu, I don't know him.
And they are just getting bullied on this choke. Once again, ATAC is the man caught out of position. Pops his Cleric, goes into the Judy as well. So should be okay for at least this rotation. But the Clerics have not been used on the other end. Good swap on Yabem. Trying to shut down Zerfax a little bit. 2-man stun up front. Cleanse comes down. But Katomni's been driven out. Fatnex goes in. Yabem, that Impaler's going to be nasty. Zerfax gets knocked up. Can't find more DPS. Deadly shot. 1, 2, 3, and it's done. Stacks as well on top. Great Impalers there from Free James. Amazing positioning from him. They're going to pull back Katomni. Katomni's going to roll, but he lands in the Area of Decay. And that is... It's going to be 2-0 again. And I'm pretty sure these boys are just tapping out of this one. Yarbem is on his 4th death of the fight, Shozen.
Yeah, at some point you kind of got to call it.
And this is actually a complete mirror match in terms of weapons. You know, it's not like they're being outcomped. They are just being completely outplayed.
So far, not having a lot of luck finding a competitive match right now, Lewpac.
Well, maybe level 5 could be a bit better. We could definitely got a lot to talk about in the meantime either way. But yeah, it's nice Judy there from Yabem. But again, what's happening here is the squad and cool mix team, the Blues, they're just running through their defensive super early. And then they're just getting out-pressured. Aramis does pop his Cleric, but Chicken has got no pressure on him. He's able to Druid Robe and free heal everybody because they can't expend a Purge onto Chicken because they have to keep them for Zerfax. And Zerfax, he rolls the Purge, turns it round onto Katomni. He might get Yabem as well. He does have stacks. Yabem's going to swap himself to safety. But this one is GG. 149. A single point on the board here for Cool and Squad.
That is a rough go of it for anybody there. That's
Yabem's
not what you want to
5th
have
death,
happen.
by the way. 5th death of the fight.
Oh,
and that is all she wrote. A few seconds and this one is over. I mean, we must have some more going on.
I'm going through them, and a lot of them are ending except for the one I'm recording, and that one's not supremely close either. Gonna check out Uraz here.
No,
yeah, 136-20 is like the closest we got here.
Comeback.
This is
comeback
not...
is real. No comeback.
No,
is real.
There's no comebacks.
Just flow,
and
flicker
the
shot.
one that I watched is also over here. We got a lot of them over in 8 minutes. That's, you know how quick that is, Pack.
We need to get our filler hats on then, ready to fill for the next GVG. We've got 22 minutes. We'll get a quick watch of the one Shozen recorded. And then we'll talk about the comings and goings around the world of Albion, I guess, because you guys can fill me in. And we can tell you about our new feature, which you will be seeing on Thursday, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Aren't you?
I'm tentatively excited. I mean, you know, it should be a laugh, I imagine.
You get to basically tell people what you have to work with. You're like, this is what we're stuck with. I'm literally stuck with Shozen and Bogul as the guys I have to play the game with. This is what they've left me with. You know.
Well,
think,
you know.
You could have Kostian and Vetus if things are a little bit different, or Gusky. There would have been an interesting 5-man team for you right there.
Yeah, I mean, I could imagine. Though, you know, we could, over the years, there was probably a pretty good team across
at
all
least
of
one
AlbionTV.
good 5v5
yeah,
team out of it.
Gusky was pretty handy. Yeah, Gusky was pretty
good.
handy. I've no idea what cost
not great, but Emma was, Evoke was very,
Emma
very
could
good.
Play. We did Hellgates before. She could play.
She can hold her own. She's definitely way better than I was. So.
Yeah, man. Every GVG I'm checking Shozen is done and dusted.
Oh, it was. They ended up quick and over with, like, before anything could really be done. So I've got one for you in just a few seconds here.
Okay.
It's not gonna be very long.
Let's get this link up then.
Yeah, we're working on it. There you go.
There we go. Right, got it. And where do we want to start?
That's 10 seconds into the matches by the time I get on Netians.
Whoa. This is a real quick one. All right.
Yeah, like I said, by the time I got into it, like 3 minutes into it, and it's over incredibly quick. Actually, it looks like I'm in 5 minutes into it by the time, because I got kicked off the internet.
Okay, well, I'm ready when you are. Bogul, you ready when
ready now.
Mm-hmm. Playing in 3, 2, 1, now.
Okay, well, it looks like one Sun team is beating the granny out of the other Sun team. It's 149 to 65 after 5 minutes. Yeah, so it's an English phase.
Yeah, we were asking Robin to explain some of these English phrases before, but beat the granny out of somebody.
Beat the granny, smash your back doors in, all this sort of stuff. No, you don't know these things?
Smash your back doors in? Oh my God, that just sounds like something you shouldn't say on Twitch.
I mean, I don't know.
But I also want to know, why is Bob your uncle? And what does that have to do with
Bob's your uncle, yeah. Fanny's your aunt is the other. British slang, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Cockney rhyming slang is the worst. Like nobody can. Like, I'm pretty sure half of it's made up, but
just made up on the stop, but it rhymes.
In the meantime, there is a GVG going, but it's a pretty one-sided affair.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the best comp right now, right? Bow, Great Curse, Great Hammer, Glaive, Nature.
Great Hammer.
Everyone's loving this. And until somebody comes up with the counter, because I like the Shadow Caller over the Great Curse, but you cut the extra bonus of the Great Curse in the Nature matchup does make it the superior weapon in the current meta. I do think Great Curse Shadow Caller could be good. I really liked the Shadow Caller Staff of Balance with the axe that Cargera was using. It makes a lot of sense. But the good thing about the Shadow Caller is it has a lot of burst if you use that Static Storm, and it's got a constant armor pierce without sacrificing Dark Matter. But yeah, the Great Curse being able to strip hots is just such a good pressure applier. Knock up onto Matchu, dot lols. That's good timing from Nentians. He knocks up Matchu just when his guy needs a save, and there's no save coming because he's stuck up in the air on a geyser. And this is going to be Marine dropping, and then one more kill probably onto Matchu, which will be the end of the match. He's going to pop that. He's going to hold on for 3 seconds. Look at that from Nentians. Nice patient play. Cleanse Heal comes out. Knock up, poison, flick. Oh my days. Alright, he's gone, mate. I think he died, respawned, and then died again from that one. Holy moly, Shozen. This team's looking mean. The one with beaned back on the scene.
One, yeah, just looking brutal.
They're looking ruthlessly efficient.
Yes, agreed. Lewpac, very efficient. How do you feel about the the NDA changes, if you want to look at some of those really quick. I know you've been going through those recently and probably have some opinions, and we have
I've been
quite a while to talk about your opinions on them, as all the matches were over in 8 minutes.
I've been reviewing them on my YouTube as well, like if you want like a deep dive into them. But as we said, the complete nuking of Royal Armor is the story
Completely
for
changed.
me.
It's changed.
Like they're not nerfing it. They're just removing the ability and replacing it. And they're not usually right. An ability only gets a complete replacement when it's never seen.
Not used. When
no one's using it. The only other time I can think of this happening was the rework on the one-handed mace. They actually reworked it into Deep Leap when the Hush, like the purging strike or whatever it was called. That was still really good.
Yeah, that was really, really good. And I mean, I used it. That was my one-handed ganking build. So
it was like a purge and a silence, and it was a big old hit in one go.
And it hurt a lot too. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to. I remember when the soldier armor and what we used to call the cancer tank came about, and it was just soloing clothies. Like literally, this tank build was just soloing clothies, and they couldn't do anything because they were silenced. And back then, people weren't loaded with cleanses. Like, you know, I don't think faction capes even existed back then. But they changed the ability because it was too overrepresented, as opposed to the usual method of changing it because nobody's playing it. In this case, though, this is going to completely shake up the frontline bruisers and possibly the tanks as well. Because don't forget, the tanks are often the recipient of that Royal Armor as well. Because if you're inside the Royal Armor aura as a friendly, the energy that's drained then gets pushed onto you. So, like, everyone can benefit from that. And at the same time, they're buffing Circle of Inspiration to do double the amount of energy from the Druid Cowl. And they're saying, hey, look, you know, we could go back to the original meta of the game when it launched of Druid Cowls for energy management and reset. Remember that? We used to see like standoffs in the choke, then both teams would drop their Druid Cowl, refresh, and go back in. That, in my opinion, just doesn't work in this meta. Like nowadays, 4 years on from launch, players are more efficient. They're more quick to react to things, and they're more ruthless on clumps and stuff like that. And the last thing you want is half your team stood in a Druid Cowl waiting for a Great Hammer tackle or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So big changes for them. Swords have got some cool changes. I've got a really cool dual sword ZVZ build in my head right now that I want to test on the test server as soon as possible. Okay. I think it's going to be absolutely nuts. But
did you get in on the NDA test the other day where they were checking out the new weapons?
No, they're always the new abilities. You mean they're always bad timing for me.
Okay.
And you can't talk about it. That's why it's called NDA shows.
Well, you can talk about that it happens and that people are testing the weapons.
Whoa, what? You want to risk your job, mate? I'm not going to tell him. Tell him, Bogul.
That's part of my job to talk about like the NDA channel and what's going on.
Spirit Animal has been buffed for the net rampant staff.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to see a rampant. I don't think we'll see a rampant 5v5 meta. I mean, no, it's like now you can with the rampant staff now. You can be less effective than a wild staff every 30 seconds, as opposed to being less effective than a wild staff every 45 seconds. So, okay, I guess there's that.
Okay.
Do you know why circle heals are so good?
Why?
What shape is a Judy armor? Do you know what I mean? It's like the wild armors. The wild staff is perfect for inside a Judy armor. Fallens are perfect for inside a Judy armor, man.
Right.
The rampant's like this little corridor. It's actually not bad to have one or two of them. Joking aside, like as you're pushing in and out, it's nice to have a rampant to walk along. That's actually pretty. Yeah, in ZVZ, yeah. Not in 5.
Yeah, remember oh gosh, of course you remember the Meta Moose meta.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We don't ever want to go back to that. That was awful. Yeah, and just no one died until people started bringing locuses. And like, if you have to bring an entire class just to deal with the healer, like something's wrong. Where if you don't bring a specific thing,
yeah,
it just doesn't work. Like nothing works. Like you can't kill anyone. We had GVGs. That was the first time like we had GVGs regularly going the full duration.
25
and ending
minutes.
ending with points on the board.
Oh my god, that was
good times. And good by good times, I mean horrible.
It was a good way to learn how to cast matches.
Yeah, but it was exhausting. Because usually a fight finishes and I go blah de blah de blah. What did you think, Shozen?
And I get to say
that's
some stuff.
Shozen's cue to talk, so I can go off mic and go and take a sip of water. However, when the rampant staff was prevalent, we had a situation where fights lasted 10 minutes and I didn't get to stop.
No, all I would ever get to do is say, "Hey, there's somebody ratting a cap in the backland." So, good luck.
Yeah, but it's good to see the back of it. I like the nature meta right now. I've always been a fan of nature because it's so much more readable. Like you've got the big save in the Graveguard, you've got the spiritual seed, and then outside of that, your players have to be super careful because there's no like magic thing to save them at that point. Like Hallerfall was getting a bit silly. The output of Hallerfalls was kind of crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, when they had all of the different things together, when they were just a jack of all trades with resistance, leap, heals, it was pretty good.
Okay, I think we're gonna hopefully put a poll up and decide who we want to watch in the GVGs. You have any ideas, Shozen?
Yeah, I'm just waiting on people to get in right
speak.
now. I only have level 1s currently signed up. So we're going to wait until people start signing up for the level 5s. Then we'll get the poll going and we'll get some out. I do have a raffle going so people can get involved in that. And we'll pull that in about 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Everybody loves the raffles. I'm just bouncing around seeing what the comps are looking like as well. I'm seeing a couple of carrion callers as well, actually.
Speaking of comps, I wanted to ask you if we already made up our mind in terms of the comp that we will try for the.
I mean, we're not gonna go too crazy. I think we'll stick with the standard 2-2-1 healer, 2 range, a bruiser and a tank. So 2 up front, 2 in the back, and a healer. I think we'll play something slightly off meta. I believe we're going to start with level 1 GVGs, which is fine because
we don't want to go right into level 2s.
Yeah, we don't want to just start throwing away gear immediately.
I mean, Bogul is going to be
wait a few days
right?
before we throw away the gear. Is he?
Okay.
If it's 4/4 or something, what's the tier that you have to use for the level 1s?
The gear costs nothing for that. Like 900 IP, you'll get there in 4-1 if you've got max spec. I imagine most of us should be max spec and things, so we'll play around.
Well,
well, what?
Bogul is max spec in bags and capes.
No, he's tomed up.
I can be sure.
Like he could be tomed up in
expensive.
anything.
That's expensive.
It's not.
We don't
Tomes are cheaper than ever.
They're actually going up, dude.
Oh, really?
Tomes are going up. I was
a little bit.
I'm glad Bogul said it and not me because I was like, wait, am I wrong?
I hoover like 2k tomes a week.
Wow.
I'm slowly getting there, especially if they're adding these new elite specs and stuff. I can't afford to spend the credits now. I've got to save them. I think I've only got like 5 weapons left to do now, and they're pretty high as well. I have nothing lower than like 500 spec out of 700 now. And everything bar 4 or 5 is max.
Well, you can wear 4.1 then. That's good to know.
Yeah. The only time you need to go higher is if you need a specific ability on some of the weapons.
Right.
Like some of the weapon abilities are gated behind other stuff. Yeah, I think who's playing what? I think I'm healing, aren't I?
You're healing.
So I was thinking of doing a cold with the leather jacket that burns everybody, so I can really fast burn everybody.
Can we say no?
Spectre jacket.
Yeah.
It's not that effective right now, to be honest.
Was a joke. Never mind.
No, Spectre jacket used to be good for a while. But yeah, Colt, no. Let's let me and Tazit come up with the ideas. You know, you provide the bags, Bogul. I think that's probably the best.
Deal.
We have 2 winners for the raffle: Rose White and Black Salami XXI.
Oh, Black Salami XXI. Good lad, that guy.
Are we doing any more raffles tonight?
This is 6 raffles for the day, Bogul.
I'm asking. I mean, man.
Yeah, have you hit your raffle quota?
I can do one more after this. One more.
All right. I mean, we have some matches to watch in a few minutes. So.
Maybe 2 more if I'm feeling super generous.
See, chat, you need to be nice. Maybe.
What's been going on in the Holy War then? As I said, I've retired to faction warfare now, where cluster queue is a thing of the past, and
Well, the coalition is pushing. They are getting some hideouts down. We saw a few hideouts fall last week. One fall more recently. The coalition was actually able to actually lost 2 hideouts today. They lost 1 hideout and they lost a shield in another. Or they lost 2 shields. They're on their final shield for one of them, right, Bogle? I got it wrong.
I wasn't paying attention.
So it's back and forth.
Oh my god.
Back and forth.
It's going back and forth, but the coalition is making steady pushes in. They put up 4 hideouts the other day in the heart of the territories down south, and they'll be able to push down closer to Sun territories in the near future. The points, though, are absolutely going to the PoE empire. They're getting their points for Blue Army's goons, and their friends of the goons. So everybody is doing well with points.
And yeah, well, this is the thing. Like, you can't focus on denying points and the war. They basically have to choose one or the other, don't they?
Yep.
And I think it's the right. Like, as much as they really don't want Blue Army to win the season because of the rivalries between these. Mm-hmm. Rivalries is a very light word to use for this particular situation.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
At the end of the day, if when they're saying, "Oh, everything's about the health of the game," then removing the PoE squad stranglehold is definitely more important than who wins that season. Like, seasons are just about mindlessly doing the things that get points, right?
Yes.
They don't mean you're the best guild.
Yeah, they have nothing to do with who's good.
They require an effort. They require a respectable amount of effort.
But when's
and
the last time
diplomacy.
you saw like homeless crew anywhere near the top 50?
But they specifically don't play for points objectives, though.
Right. But I'm saying they're just like, that's the thing, is the things that make the guilds the best guilds in the game, the ones
but
that
they're not the best. They're not the best guild in the game. They're the strongest ZVZ force in the game. If that's how you measure the best.
I'm saying they're one of the best in an area, and it doesn't even register. It's one of the things that's used
if they were to, but if there was no war,
they're taking castles,
and they were rampaging around castles, and they were stealing people's high-level territories, they could rack up tons of points. It's not that they're not being rewarded for being a strong ZVZ force. It's that they choose not to go for those rewards. They prioritize non-points giving content, and in this case, they prioritize a global war on the server above it.
Correct. I'll give you that.
Like, to say that ZVZ doesn't give points is incorrect. There is, I'm sure you could find thousands and thousands of points in points banks already this season up for grabs.
Oh, absolutely. I think that more people should focus on grabbing points from towers, but until I think the rewards for winning the season are more tangible than having your name on a list.
It's literally just bragging rights. Like, you get an extra crystal mount, which across 300 people does add up to quite a lot. You get a 5% fame bonus for 90 days, which is pretty respectable. The rewards aren't terrible, but basically, like, if it's not first, it's really not worth the hassle,
So the current vote split is 1-3-25-1-1.
Wow. Karg and the gang.
I'm gonna vote for Nentians.
I am gonna vote for Rafikon. Haven't seen him for a while.
All right, well, I'll put that up for the one that I record then, because it looks like they're going to come in second.
Okay.
And we will watch Cargera.
This is we said these guys, we were a bit harsh on them. They had a rough couple of weeks towards the start of the season. But this weekend, we suddenly saw something click with their new comp. And they took a win off of a team that had stomped them the week before. Cargera back on a Starford balance. This guy's always been synonymous with quarterstaffs, right? Like, the Ironclad was his original weapon. He popularized the Ironclad massively. The SOB as well, when it was ridiculously overpowered, was what he was known for. So it's good to see him back on the quarterstaff. It's a shame there's no like big interrupts for him anymore. Like, so crossbows are out of the meta, which is a big target for quarterstaffs. Holy is a really good matchup for a quarterstaff. There's no big targets for him, but the SOB anti-heal they're playing, combined with the cultist sandals, combined with the inherent anti-heal of Boda's axe. I don't believe Boda was running a Hood of Tenacity last week. Can you remember if he was Hood of Tenacity or was he just playing it safe?
I can't remember what he had for a hood on Bodaville last week. I don't generally stalk him.
We saw Boda as well have energy problems even with that Royal Armor. So when that Royal Armor goes away, we're probably going to see him on a Scholar's Cowl, in all honesty. If he wants to continue with the build, I can't see past anything but the Scholar's Cowl. Like Scholar's Cowl Duty Armor, Scholar's Cowl Soldier Armor, anything like that would work. Limhurst just doesn't have a quick enough cooldown rotation. But here we go then into our level 5 matches from the POV of Mr. Cargera then.
Okay, he's going in. Just a little late. All right.
Yeah. They'll probably show their build. Everybody knows what these guys are playing. Be interesting to see who they get in the level 5s, because there's always some fun matchups. These guys. Oh, it's gonna be another Sun versus Sun matchup. This is one of the downsides of having a lot of GVG teams, is you get a lot of mirror matches. The Marine team is adopting a bit of what Cargera is playing. They're also running the Rotten Ground SOB, but they're running Great Holy and Carrion Caller. So we'll see how this works out for them. Again, another off-meta choice. At least this will be an interesting match because no one's playing the meta. And this SOB, these guys are swearing by it. And, if Cargera's swearing by a weapon, you probably got to take a little bit of notice at least, haven't you?
If he's still impressed by it and he says it's the best one to use, he is the meta for a reason.
Our killer is playing the Shadow Caller as well, which I'd actually rather see Graffice on the Shadow Caller because he's got the Holy matchup. But here we're going to see Quarterstaff versus Holy, and we're about to see why it's a problem. Cargera's going to get stunned out at the back, and that's a nice reset there. He uses the Cleric to ensure that he cannot be interrupted. But those Mystic Rocks seem to last for ages. Now Boda's Royal Armor comes out. Bokix is starting to have big health issues. Goes for the counter onto Boda. Max Curse, Max Bleed onto Boda as well. Karg looking for the Rotten Ground. Can't find the opening. Bokix is getting shredded now. Oh, the orb isn't going to connect. There's the roll for Matthew trying to save his boys. He needs this next reset. There's the reset into the Judy. Very good reset positioning from Matthew. Karg's already deep. He does have bleed stacks and they're trying curse stacks. They're trying to get the bleed stacks as well. But Bokix and Marine, they're just not playing right now. Carvinen is playing so deep and he's just poke until they go. Bokix is playing midline into the back now. And our killer, he's in a bit of trouble. The Mystic Rocks have gone down and all of a sudden Matthew's healing is massively negated. And there's the Slammer Jammer onto Cargera. Trying to prevent some of this forward pressure, but Marine dice the curse stacks down the back. Matthew's going to drop to the next shot from Carvinen's boat. It's going to be 2-0 into the 3. Not on the rotation timing, but this looks like a 150 start from the champs, Shozen. There wasn't even a 4-1.
They're off to an absolutely dominating start here. Like you said, they're not going to get the 20 points off the bat. They're going to get 10, but they're securing it into a 20. And once they have 20, it is so hard to beat these guys. It's so hard to push them off. It's such an uphill battle once they have 3 caps against you. They grind it out better than anybody else. And with this comp, they excel at it.
Yeah. And it's not like, oh, we're going to insta-give someone comp. It's, we win the value trades in the first rotation with anti-heal. And just as you're about to stabilize, our second rotation of Boda's spin comes out. And that's when they really squeeze the pressure. Carvinen, he's always holding some quiver for that as well. They sync it up, and at that point, the enemy healer can't recover. And Machu actually switching in this quarterstaff matchup, switching to nature, which I don't dislike, but he is switching nature directly into the curse staff, which is always an unpleasant feeling, but he definitely feels that's what he's got to do. Our killer is stuck with 3 stacks of bleed plus the anti-heal. Sack doesn't even take him to full there. In the meantime, though, Marine and Bokix are making some headway at the other end, and this double curse now from an attack. So an R killer Slammer Jammer comes down onto Boda. He spins onto both curses. They're going to roll back. They actually did a good job of avoiding all that damage. Bokix and Marine eating an area of decay there at the back, and the shred onto Bokix. Royal armors are popped left, right, and center. Machu gets stunned. There's dark matter and a cultist cowl, and Machu's in big trouble here. The sickle
That's
back and forth. Grafis hits him with the double sickle, and that is healer down into another 20 then. And
that'll double pop on you, and that'll finish you off real quick if you get hit by both sickles at full stacks like that. And
yeah, that's four.
Bye-bye.
That's 4 max stack ticks instantly. Like, we always talk about how curse is a slow burn weapon, but every time you hit them and they've already got max stacks, it automatically procs. So when you play double curse, suddenly it becomes a lot more bursty. I'm a big fan of double curse because it gives you both the hot purge of the great curse and the output of the shadow caller.
I'm gonna start looking around for another match for us to watch. I have another match recording.
What do you mean? The comeback isn't real, Shozen?
I'm gonna start looking around for another match for us to watch here. I do have another one recording as I am watching the Rafikon team play as well, and that is more of a back and forth match than this one. But we'll see what else we got over here at level 5s.
Okay, yeah, there should be a good number of level 5s, especially as this season people have started to level their towers more efficiently. Oh, Machu, controlled, anti-healed, dark matter straight into him, bouncing back and forth. He got unlucky there, like just caught in the wrong spot. Kargera had stun run available. Karg's now it's double curse as well. Karga switched to bop on his helm, which means he gets even more control over the fight. And I don't know, these guys, they've only died 5 times. It's not been like ruthless in kills, but it doesn't even feel like they have kill pressure during these fights, does it?
Not especially right now. It looked kind of one-sided for them. They looked like they were having a hard time. I did find there's only 3 matches going on right now. The other one is the Nentians versus Aramis Irons. So that's like Fatnecks and Chicken on the other team with Bean and Nentians. Yeah, and it's just kind of turned around to Nentians having a bit of a comeback. And in the opening moments of the last engagement, after Nentians was able to take cap, they immediately blew up Aramis Irons. So it's a 4v5, already pushed back to choke. It's an interesting back and forth.
Okay, Machu against full dive. Kargera even poisons him on the way through, and like Machu doing a good job of holding his ground. But watch this seed, like doesn't even get him to 3/4. Its anti-heal is so ruthless. That's without rotten ground and without bleed sacks. He has no spiritual seed available, and of course he can't stack himself. In the meantime, it's 3 versus 3 and 2 versus 2 at the top, as I believe Carvinen and Shekri are having their own little party up there. Boda may have overstayed his welcome here, and the boat really wants to punish, but those cursed sickles not quite tickling, and the dive onto Shekri is successful. I think Bokix will get punished for it on the way out, but that's a healer. That's a healer for
that's gonna
for
at
a
least
DPS.
turn it the other direction for at least a little while here,
and
we'll see how these guys can do.
Yeah, Red Sun will put something on the board here. It's going to be a 2 cap. Probably not a 3 now that Shekri's up.
It's I will say as a update over here, it's 65 to 98. 3 caps for 65 Nentians and the boys over in the Blue Sun team.
Wow. Well, we might get over to that. If Blue Sun here win this engage, we can get over to that match and see the climax of that one. Definitely could be an interesting one by the sounds of it. Card gonna go tank pushing for it. I don't think Red Sun's gonna let him have it here, and he's going to try and stick it, but Bokix just casually walks up with a little swipe. Boda getting the trades off, and here comes, wow, really early rocks and drop. And Retard Killer really, really quick on his cleric there. That was nice reactions from him. Still has his role, and that means his healer still has all his saves. And that's what's the important thing, you know, as long as you don't overlap your defensives with your healer saves. Look at that turn onto Karg as well. Big damage for the punish. The Judy comes down. Resets are coming from Shekri, and as soon as he knows he's got those stacks and he's ready to go in, Karg going full aggressive, but he has to respect here. The Taxo's back on the bow, and he's already 4-stacked. Marine, he's out front. Is there a stun available for it? No. Boda's even forced to roll back. Mortal Agony comes through from Bokix. Machu, though. Machu and Arkiller, they're having a bad time. This is very back and forth. Arkiller's going to roll. Machu needs to save him. Oh, they do pop the Cleric. I thought they had that trigger discipline going. They let the Cleric ride. I didn't think it was going to proc. It did, but all it did was delay the inevitable for a further 3 seconds as Bokix drops, and this one is over, Shozen.
Yeah, it looks like that was a short-lived comeback for sure. These guys are some of the best at saying, no, you didn't even win that engagement. It's over. Sorry. Thanks for showing up. Let's head over to Nentians.
Oh, I get there just in time to see Aramis get dropped in front of the tent as well. Like that's some rude. That's some rude behavior fighting in front of the tent like this. That takes the biscuit, mate. But they get the kill and they're going to pull back for another 20. And these guys,
and they've pulled up ahead too.
Yeah,
where
did you say it started?
It was close to 100 or over 100 when I think this started. Honestly, this comeback.
Now they're on a 120 second timer to win.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nasty stack though. You definitely don't want to do that. Good royal armor from Beam though. He knew he needed to get something out of it. Actually, the tank comes out. He only got 1 value from it. Didn't get the double. Your mum die, gonna get flicked. There's a back cap patrol going on as well. I like that. Like Solis saw Aramis trying to go for the back cap, and he's like, I don't think so, my friend. Vengeance goes in. Impaler onto Zerfax. Pulling back. Zerfax gets the stacks out. The Dark Matter goes down. Nice stun from Fatnex onto the back line. Purge goes out onto Zerfax. No roll. Double guys a knock up. Seed out front. Nenshin's going to be okay. No Judy used though. Stun goes through onto James and Fatnex. Now they're surging forward. They want Minsu. They want Yamundai. He has the roll again, but there's the flick, and now Yamundai is out of defensives. No, does have the Cleric. He's going to be okay. Elbow smash onto Zerfax. Dark Matter, but it doesn't bounce. And now all of a sudden, Nenshin's and the Sun Boys, they're gonna have to fall back to this choke, but they rode it out for 20 points. Like they just reset the fight.
Lewpac.
Oh,
yeah, and they're gonna lose points, but it's okay.
Do they pay for it though?
Points. No, I think at this maybe, but I mean you're so far ahead here. As long as you keep it with a 10-pointer,
you've got to keep them interested. They need to. They've sent somebody for 1 cap. Nenshin says no. Oh, I don't like this.
You don't.
I think
this
he's going to die for it
unless
Minsu's got a sack.
Aramis Irons is.
But it's only 1 cap, so they're fighting 4v4 right now, and their respawn could possibly defend south. If the respawned player can defend south, then yeah, he's going straight south. So there's a 1v1 at south right now, Shozen. And he's gonna get the interrupt. Yeah, he went up there. He gets the interrupt, and now they just have to hold north for 5 seconds, and they win.
And then they win. Okay,
that was very nice control over that. They let the guy go for the other cap, and now they do need to stop this cap though. That's going at top. Aramis. Oh, it's a geyser.
Nice
it's a geyser for the win, and that was
nice geyser.
That was really nice awareness of the points, wasn't it? That was
absolutely
smooth.
Fantastic. And my other match is still going. I don't want to say anything about it. It's
wow.
It's all the excitements. It's all the excitements, just like this one was. All the excitements with a down to the end victory. Great match. Great match.
Talking about excitement, the Euros, Spain just equalized against Italy 1-1 with 7 minutes left.
What's that mean?
Extra time. And then after 30 minutes, you get 30 minutes of extra time. And if it's still a draw, then you get a penalty shootout.
So you have to watch another 30 minutes of football?
I mean, yeah. Or maybe not. Like, somebody could still score. The game's wild. 9-4 there. 9-4 in kills, actually. Their comeback team won 9-4 in kills. I actually didn't expect that. So obviously they lost 1 fight, and the Elevate team just did a bang-up job of just controlling the caps there. But that finish was very nice mechanically, because they knew when the respawn was, right? They knew that the guy had to spend 10 seconds at mid, then walk to bot and spend 10 seconds at bot. So they knew, like, based on the timings, they knew that their respawn could get to bot and contest it. They didn't need the mid cap. So, like, Nenshin's looked like he was going to press it, but then I think, like, he pulled back, changed his mind, and then they just controlled that finish. That was smooth, and that shows, like, it puts you in the driving seat when you have the caps.
It does. It really allows you to really change the flow of the match. And like we said, when we watched Cargera and the boys, they are the best at doing that, and you can see other people, trying to do the same thing, and it's effective. It truly is effective.
Yeah, caps win games. We've always said this, and it's nice to see teams just like taking control of the fights like that. Like it's so good to see like macro gameplay as well as the micro of the fights themselves.
Okay, just 1 second. We'll have this next matchup, a nice 12-minute and 30 long second match, unlike the last one, which was about 10 minutes shorter.
Right, let's get it, Mr. Shozen.
It's on its way. It's on its way. There you go. Hold your horses.
All
Hold
right.
your horses.
This football's about to go to extra time, Shozen. I'm gonna get this one casted. I'm gonna get this one casted. Oh, Prince of Death, Geminex, Uraz. Wow, what a stacked lineup this is. ANCQ and that Uzbek as well.
Mm.
Ready when
I
you-
can't make out that last name. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
I'm ready when you guys are.
So this is stacked lineup on both sides, man. What
They've
a start.
swapped out attack 12 for ANCQ, which I can't say straight up it's a better trade,
but they're
you
back to
can't
their
get
old lineup.
but an ANCQ is always a good choice to add to your team. He's always been very good, and I believe he knocks it out of the park in this one and gets top damage. So not a bad pickup.
Okay, we ready?
Yep.
Playing a 3, 2, 1, now.
Okay, so it looks like we got Great Hammer. Geminex is on his Daybreaker Torch. Probably like I actually think I in this matchup as well, this current meta matchup, I personally prefer it to the Glaive. The Glaive offers you a lot, but the Daybreaker in the right hands is just ruthlessly efficient. Like you got an extra purge for the bow. It strips hots, it strips clerics. Like you in a normal matchup, right? The Fiend's cows 95% of the time have to go onto the bow. You can we always say this, and it's massively overstated, but you cannot allow a bow to just play free, right? If they have a bow, you have to be purging it. So there's very rarely gonna be a Fiend's cowl available for a clutch cleric purge that secures a kill. The Daybreaker, however, can go through the cleric and still hit the bow with 1E, and it'll strip hots of everyone as well. And it's a great follow-up for the tackle, because anything the tackle hits, the Daybreaker will hit as well with the breakthrough. Geminex, though, the only thing he might be hitting is the 10 for the respawns. But
no, he got the heals, the great heals, and they're going to get fatality at the end of that.
Nicely done from the boys.
Very nicely played there. Under a lot of pressure there. He's got to back out, and he does. He's going to get the full heals and get the reset here. I mean, that was the smart play from these guys. Just take it back, reset.
There's caps going. Like two caps are going at once. So you see them surge forward there because they saw both caps flipping. So they've got a 3v5, which is insane. Like, even if you don't get the kill, it's insane to start the pressure that way. Geminex is going to get stunned. The cleanse was used on the healer. Uraz is in a kind of awkward spot now because he's used his cleanse, he's used his cleric, and now he's used his roll, and Chillite's going to get the poison. That was lovely. That was a lovely knockback there from the boys. Rimmer and Uraz are in a horrible spot. Fatality's going to die,
liking this.
But Rimmer's going to trade. Uraz is going to get traded here. They're going to purge him. He's going to roll the roll forward.
Is he get stunned?
Nah, he's going to get geysered.
There's the geyser. Yeah, okay. The geyser will take care of the business.
4v3. Rimmer's back up, but Bonzo, he's rolled into the tent. Does he have a cleric as well? Bonzo. He's popped the res. He's popped the cleric. That is every defensive he had, and he's gonna get out of there by the skin of his teeth. That was lovely from Bonzo. Didn't panic on the cleric, right? He went for the resi first, thinking that they might try and panic purge, and then he gets his cleric after. I really liked how he played that. The resistance potion as well lowers his CC. So if he thinks the tackle's coming, the resistance gets him out the tackle quicker. Still 3 cap against, though, and Chillite's just realized that. In the meantime, Fatality's having his own fight against Geminex at the bottom of the tent.
You can't be doing that. You can't do that. Yeah. You can't do that.
I don't even understand.
That's a misplay right there. That's a tactical error.
Prince of Death or Death was in the Durenton team last season or the season before. Before music,
the Purple
before
Cobras,
before musical teams.
In the he was the original, the Dr. Liberal dumbass version of the Purple Cobras.
That was a good team, man.
That was a very good team
second place
until
they got, didn't they?
Until the finals. They were absolutely dominating that entire season. They dominated the way through the competition, and then they got hit with the split push. It was the beginning of the change to the split push, and they misplayed it every time, and it was completely new to them, and they just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, they could out-captain those and then just out-controlled in the fights. Oh, Prince of Death. It's a nicely timed stun, nicely timed geyser. Ding, ding, ding. Into a sickle as well. Using the rotten ground. Oh, Dark Matter, Kobe from ANCQ. And Blue going to take control of this again. This is a wild fight, Shozen.
I told you, it goes back and forth quite a bit today. We got a couple of good ones for the level 5s today. Very exciting to have that. The 4s were a bit of a disappointment. 5s had been
There's a lot of teams in 4, though. You get a lot of mismatches in 4. 5s is where it heats up, and 6s is where it gets serious.
Well, 5s is where it really separates people. And you made a really good point when you're talking about towers and the refreshing of towers, and how hard it really is for most guilds to get a level 5 capable GVG team or better in order to level up their towers to the point where they're not refreshing their towers twice a week.
Every 3 days. Yeah, exactly. As soon as you hit 5 and 6, you get like a pretty generous allowance. And when you hit 7, you get a month. Level 7 gets a month. That's when it gets really good, because then you've only got to play the high levels from them. Teams as well do get a nice crystal chest for playing from towers if they win. I wouldn't mind seeing that up as well, and maybe like even bonus points for playing from towers. Like I really think we should incentivize it, because it brings teams into the open world. Uraz going back to the tent there with a pretty quick takedown. Blue, they have done the old switcheroo here. From the back foot, they're about to take the lead in 20 seconds for the first time in this match.
And congratulations to them on that. I mean, very good comeback here in the works by the blue team, the Rafikon team, doing its best to, I guess, bring back, which was something that was out of hand really early. They had some very bad engagements early on, found themselves making some tactical mistakes, and now not a bad place to be in.
That was a really slow out of 10 though from Red, wasn't it?
They're still not out of 10.
Yeah, they're not quite up this choke yet. Geminex is up there calling for the boys. They have breached that high ground. Slammer Jammer, Rafikon is playing Royal Shoes rather, evasive leap. Very interesting choice from a tank. Misses the geyser onto Bonzo. Wow, do you see how he steps towards him there, right? He's trying to look like he's about to purge. He's trying to get Bonzo to roll.
Rafikon gonna go down and here? He is.
I even know what that was. It was like he was playing Purge Chicken with Bonzo. He was like, look, you roll and then I'll purge you when you land. But he never rolled. Bonzo just held his nerve waiting for the purge. Rafikon just stood there and took a face full of arrows. And all of a sudden, that glorious, glorious comeback was, for want of a better word, potatoed away.
Yep, and there it is. They're tied now. They are no longer ahead. And in a few seconds here, I don't think they're going to be tied.
No, it's going to go back to a red lead.
59.
Into a 3 cap. And yeah, I like the mind games from Rafi, but the thing is Bonzo knows that when the geyser misses, he knows that he's in control of that situation. If he feels he can react. Oh, wow, Geminex, though. Geminex doing the reverse potato and just gets deleted off the rip, in the words of the mighty Robin Hood. And it's gonna be a flick back. I think Chilite's got flick as well. He might look for Prince here. He might look for Rima. I think it's gonna be Rima. Yeah, flick back onto Rima, onto the choke. Cleric comes out, and once you've killed a guy and they're retreating, then you can commit purges, right? Yeah. If you wanna purge a cleric when they're on the back foot, you absolutely can. Uraz gets the seed. Uzbek leading the charge, by the way, with those auto attacks.
Love seeing it. This
game is back and forth, man. But there's been some questionable int in here I'll be honest. Like,
A couple of calls that were a little out. How quickly did these guys get back with the rotation, though? Remember how slow they were with the
they're not even
pass?
5 yet. Like,
Yeah, so slow with the last one. Very quick with this one. Trying to avoid getting hit with that that 20-point rotation on the 3 cap. Well done with a very quick rotation. I like seeing it. And now they've got him back.
It's important that they don't get the 3 because look at the points now, right? If they're 3 caps, they're on a very drastic timer, aren't they?
Absolutely, and we talk about this all the time.
Prince goes for the knock-up. Stunning. Doesn't connect with Fatality, but the Judy boost Purge comes out. Fatality pops his Cleric, stands his ground. I like it. Man's up, but the Purge comes out again. He rolls too late, so Fatality is full Purge now. He's going to have to meditate. The dive is going on hard. In the meantime, Chillite and Raffi doing what they can, but Chillite, he needs to get out of dodge right now because he is going to be drilled up. He's going to evasive jump. Fatality at the back, though. Now, Uzbek is caught between helping Fatality, who's being run down by Geminex, and helping Chillite, who's pulling back. Goes for Chillite because Fatality's in the tent, but Geminex doesn't give a damn about no tent. He takes him down on his own doorstep, comes into his hood, and gives him a slap. Unbelievable scenes here. It's still 2 caps to 1. If Chillite drops, though, good cleanse heal for the save there. But the Purge comes out. One more jab. Geminix gets his second of this engage. They're going to be driven back. Slammer Jammer into Geyser onto 2. Nice play. They're going to grab the 3 on rotation unless Raffi and the boys go for a very quick rotate.
They need to go quick down to south, I would say.
Everyone else is already moving. Like, the whole team's already rotating.
It's too late, yeah. They needed to go immediately, and ANCQ needed to go right to the back and take that, and Raffi needed to go to the choke to hit Prince of Death. And that was the only way they were going to secure that from it being a 3 cap, and they're going to take 20 in 8 seconds.
They're going to get 2 minutes, though, on this, because they do have 28 points left on the board after this rotation. Interesting stuff, but they're looking okay for now. I don't know, like, how they're going to stabilize this, though, because they're having a real trouble breaching that choke. Graphicon, early trade going out. They can't play that. Chillite comes from behind. I think he was mounted. He was looking for the back cap, but they were watching. They were watching for that back cap, so he actually opted to ride through them just to see if they commit anything. Oh, that was a 4-man tackle across the team. Shows a nasty stuff.
Nice catch.
Chillite tries to get Bonzo down the choke with the flick, but can't find the angle. They're still going for him, but he's going to roll back. Geyser comes up. Purge comes out. Resi Pot's going to be popped. Raffi in a horrible spot. Geminex on top of him with the jabs and the Stalker. Purges through the entire team. Bonzo needs to be careful. Sack is committed. Poison goes out onto Fatality. Raffi in one, and it's exactly the same again. Fatality being chased to 10 by Geminex, while there's another fight going up at the top, and Uzbek is nowhere to be seen. Rafficon has to respect that. Fatality's back in the tent. Geminex unsuccessful on the kill, but Chillite's gone all in. He's going to trade Bonzo.
Chillite and Bonzo at the same time, though.
But they're on a 1 killer now.
Opportunity.
Nah, it's 4v4, and they've only got 4 points. Like, all they need to do is stay alive now. Yeah. One more death, and they lose as well. Fatality, he used a lot of defensives on Gem there. Here comes the Iron Breaker. There's the Purge. There's the knock. Sack comes down. Seed is going to pop, but the Dark Matter and the jab.
And that goes.
Wow, Geminex. Geminex had a very Geminex game there. There was one where he died very quick from his aggression, but he had a very Geminex game. Running Fatality into the tent. Completely splitting Uzbek's attention. Like, his team was doing the right thing, looking for the dive. Like, I don't hate it, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's just a bit of a rough one there. Like, they just, Fatality needed to push forward, not back, and stay near his healer. Like, the problem is this Daybreaker build does so much auto attack damage. It's disgusting. And he's in royal armor as well. He's not in soldier armor. He's not in leather or cloth. It's just royal armor. Bam, 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 bam. Jab, 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 jab. Like, out DPSing and pressuring a bow because he has those purges in his arsenal. It's a brilliant build right now, and I'm shocked that more people aren't playing it, Shozen.
Well, with all the praise that you're giving it, Lewpac, we may very well see more people pull it out.
It's harder to play. It's maybe why.
Need somebody good to play it.
We'll see next time. Saturday, then, will be the next GVG show, but the AlbionTV crew will be here for the rest.
We got another GVG show before that, Lewpac.
I mean, I think calling that a GVG show is a bit disrespectful to actual GVGers, just
Well,
personally.
it's a
but
lesson on how to GVG. It's like the very basics of it. How do you sign up? How do you put on your gear? How do you get into a level 1? What are some of the terms that you're going to be hearing when you're having a match of 5v5 and seeing a different perspective, really? But it should still be a GVG.
What is Lewpac going to call you when you use the wrong spells? It's going to be an experience. Well, we'll be here Thursday for that. The AlbionTV guys will be here tomorrow as well with another daily show and war report. For the GVG show, though, that draws us to an end, and I'm off to watch the conclusion of Italy versus Spain in the Euros.
All right, I have to just let people know that Sherm84 and Album As has won the raffle. Those people need to whisper me to claim their prize. Your names are in chat next to mine. Just click on my name, hit the whisper button, and type away, and you should be able to claim your very fancy gold code that I will send out to you later. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time, and remember,
stay classy, Albion.
The thunder just like shook my house right before
it's an omen. It's an omen for our GVGs. Right. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great evening, everybody.
Good night.